Don't you have something in store tonight?
What is
I will tell
up? What is up?
Gotta bring out the boss.
What is up? Welcome to the Destiny Nerds podcast. These dudes are wilding out in here. Oh my gosh. What is up, everyone? You're listening to the Destiny Nerds podcast.
Your shit just crashed?
My other PC, the one that I'm watching.
Are you guys okay? Can you guys hear me?
My main PC is good.
Can you guys hear me? 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 Can you guys hear me?
By the way, it's definitely my internet.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
No.
Okay, bro. I think I muted myself. All right, I'm gonna blame myself for something immediately.
We're having a conversation. I got a little heated.
You guys, so listen, what's
We're
up,
already
everyone? This is a great way to start this podcast. We can't start it normally. It can't just be like perfect. Welcome everyone to the Destiny Nerds podcast. This is a very special episode. First, my name is Bearded Luke. My awesome co-host Havoc is not feeling well, and he is not here today, but we love him and we wish he was here. And if he's in chat, we love you. You're amazing. We have two sweet guests here. Like, it's already getting, like, things are getting real. Right? I unmuted them and they're yelling. Literally. So let's introduce you. We'll start with Maddox first because he's older. Introduce yourself, Matt. We have Maddox and Frostee here. So let me hear from both of you. What's up?
Well, my name is Maddox. I'm a guest at Destiny 2 streamer, stream PvP. Mainly do community scrims, the best community scrims in the history of Destiny 2. I don't care what anybody says. We focus on being positive, focus on improvement, and focus on just having fun. Nothing is very serious. We welcome new gamers that want to look into playing more of a competitive state of the game, and especially PvE players as well too, because it literally just, we can't have enough people. Like, I'd love to have more and more people. Literally just Discord channels with people waiting to play. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of things in store as well too. I got a couple things that I'm working on to help the PvP side of things, but other than that, just vibing. I stream on Twitch, Maddox with 2 X's every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30. So you guys can catch me then.
Heck yes! Thanks for being here, Maddox. I love you a lot. All right, and we also have the Frostee, which Frostee created the graphic that you see on the screen right now, just to let everyone know, which is, pretty dope. Frostee, tell us about yourself.
All right, what is up? My name is Frostee. I'm mainly a Destiny 2 streamer. I do a lot of mainly PvE. I like to do raid helps. I like to do low man challenges. I do a lot of crazy stuff with my clan, and just like to help gamers learn PvE stuff that they didn't know they could even do. And I dabble in PvP here and there, but definitely not the best. Definitely a PvE main. And that's mostly what I stream. Play some other variety games here and there, and that's about it.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm noticing that the sides of your hair, do you have a fresh cut or is your hair gone?
I do. I'll show it. So I shaved my head for charity about, I think well over a month ago now, for the Bungie Foundation charity, and it's grown back, but my mom gave me a quarantine cut, fresh quarantine.
Oh, let's see it.
Well,
show it.
Yeah, I haven't done my hair today, so we'll look at it. But
oh, Mom!
Everyone, be careful.
Why'd you fuck him up, Mom? What the hell?
Oh, I think he looks good.
I haven't done it today. I haven't done it today, so keep that in mind. But she did give me the quarantine cut, so
I like the quarantine cut.
I know. I haven't done it today, but
well,
it's like,
Mom, what the fuck?
It looks good, but I haven't done it today. I just put on the hat, so
I'm not taking off my beanie, so don't even ask.
I think you guys look great. All right, so I'm pumped that you're both here. This is exciting. We kind of have a discussion tonight because there's been a big discussion kind of rolling out in the community on Twitter, on the internet, everywhere about PvE and PvP. But before we get there, I want to hear about both of your journey. We like to ask all our guests. I want to hear your journey. Like, how did you get to Destiny? Why do you play Destiny? So whoever wants to start, I want to hear why you play this game. Where you came from.
Go ahead, Frostee.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. So I started in D1. Me and some IRLs just picked up the game, and we got into PvP clip hitting. We used to go in there with double snipers and fun loadouts, and we just go for PvP clips for montages. And I eventually got into designing through that. I started designing thumbnails for montages, and then we just did that through all of D1. I did do raids here and there, but I was pretty casual because I was still in school. I was doing sports and all that. And then D2 came out, and I had moved to PC recently. I was on a laptop, and I just started playing D2. I was still pretty casual. I was in school a lot and in sports a lot. And then around Forsaken, I kind of started just taking the game way more serious, and I started enjoying way more challenges, and that's kind of when I got into the sweaty side of PvE things. And kind of ever since like mid Forsaken, that's like been my main thing, is just grinding PvE and just doing crazy challenges and just, finding fun things to do around the game. And yeah.
Heck yes, Maddox. I want to hear your.
So I started with Destiny 1, of course, as most people have.
Sure.
I didn't really know what the game was to start with. I played Halo with my friends on Xbox, and they're like, "Hey, there's this new Bungie game coming out called Destiny. You should pick it up." I said, "All right, whatever." So I picked it up, midnight release, played it for a couple months, didn't really know what the hell was going on, dropped it for a couple months, picked it back up around like right before House of Wolves dropped. And for some reason, just this spark, I just loved it from then on. Taking King came out, absolutely loved that shit. King's Fall, best raid. Nobody at me that shit. I don't care what anybody says. And then just kind of played it. I played switched over to PS4 because a lot of my buddies played it. My brother started playing it, so played PS4 until one day I just we were showing my buddy in my old clan how to do Crown of Sorrow. And we were trying to like get our whole clan to know how to do it so we could start like doing raids more often. And so I was like, all right, I'll just stream it. I like there's that little stream button on PS4. You can stream to Twitch, whatever. So I like almost every night we played, I just started streaming it. They were watching, learning how to do it. And I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. Like imagine like doing this shit for real, learn money and all that stuff, learning the community. So I did. I invested a lot of money and switched over to PC whenever cross save came out and went full-fledged into it. Like just balls to the wall, setting up all my equipment, upgrading my audio, and just kind of learning about it too, like learning about streaming and just how to make a good quality stream and a good quality community as well too, which I feel like I've done pretty. I mean, not trying to be conceited or anything like that, but I feel like
you have a great community. They're here. I see them watching. Sweet. Well, let me just say this is cool. This is a little different. Every guest we've had so far, I kind of known before, but like Maddox is one of my best friends in IRL kind of now. I guess we met on Twitch. He was in a raid with SMS Carter once, and then we kind of vibed that night, and we've been friends ever since. And then Frostee did all my rebrand, so we talked a lot, and I watched him
mine too.
Yeah, and it's we have a lot of.
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh. Worst rebrand ever.
We're doing that tonight. Okay.
Worst rebrand. But all right. Goodness. So I know that we talked before about what we were going to talk about, but it just dawned on me that they finally put a TWAB out this year, and it was this week. So I feel like we should talk about that a little bit first before we get too far into this discussion.
I might have to pull it up, to be honest.
I have it pulled up here, and first thing I know, did you either of you both read it or did you just hear from it?
No.
Yeah.
I don't give two shits what the TWAB says.
Okay. I don't read it either, but I read it this week kind of. You know what? Actually, you know what I do? I see that it's on Twitter, and then if there's an uproar, I'm like, well, it sucks. And then if everyone's pumped, then it's good, right? Is that how it works? I mean, I don't know.
Basically, yeah.
Did you read it, Frostee?
I did. Well, I skimmed. There's a lot of words, so I skimmed. I looked at the bullet points.
There's a lot of words.
There is, bro. I ain't trying to read.
I read the bullet points, and yeah.
So I think one of the main problems of this entire TWAB, in my opinion, is the idea of reissuing weapons that got sunset that aren't good. I mean, they're good, but like, listen, I think the idea of what they did with sunsetting, it might be backfiring on them based off of this TWAB. That's kind of what I took out of the entire thing. I actually didn't read anything other than when I saw, oh, cool, I can grind for stuff I already had that I didn't like in the first place. So that's exciting. Can I just have my recluse back? Like that's honestly where I was with it.
Yeah, or like the question, like, is recluse coming back, or can I like? Am I just waiting for that shit? Like,
I don't delete anything in my vault because I don't know if it's gonna actually come back or not. Because they say, hey, it's gone. Hey, now it's not gone. They talked a little bit about in here about the tokens, turning in the tokens now for we can have levels again on all this stuff. Just comes back to the. I like to be really positive, as much positive as I can be about the game because I love it. But I feel like Bungie have such a hard time with going like one way and then backwards and then one way and then backwards and then they don't actually go anywhere. They're just like in the middle. Like
Yeah.
Why did the level? Remember in D1, whenever we had like our Dead Orbit level, our faction levels, our Crucible level, our Vanguard level, you could see all those levels in the menu. Why did that ever go away in the first place? That was great. It worked. And they've kind of went forward and backwards with it here, and it looks like they're bringing it back again in a way to just, I think all of this stuff in this TWAB is literally just like housekeeping, how to introduce things that are better. But let me get your take. I want to hear your guys' take on what you thought. I know you might not have read much of it, but if you got anything from it, I want to know what you think.
Here's my thoughts. And again, coming from a PvP side,
okay.
One thing I'm excited about was Waking Vigil. Waking Vigil was a very good hand cannon, a very good what is now a 140, and it's an energy hand cannon as well too, which I have been preaching. If anybody knows or follows me on Twitter, I've been preaching that we can please have a decent fucking a decent energy hand cannon that is worth is just worth it. Like, I'm so sick. I don't want to use Sunshot. I don't want to use there's no energy 120s, I don't think, that I'm aware of that's worth using. And I want, like, I've been preaching, hoping that Palindrome will come back as an energy hand cannon.
Oh, didn't they say it was coming back?
More variety.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. And then here's what's even more annoying is, why are they bringing back just 4?
Yeah,
you're bringing back all the armors. You're bringing the whole armor system, but why not all the weapons as well too?
No idea.
Like, just stop capping and just bring us.
Just bring it all.
Just bring it all.
Just say. Listen,
if you're gonna screw with us, just bring it all. Like, I just don't understand why.
Man.
Be like, listen, I'm sorry, we effed up. We're gonna go ahead and go backwards. It's okay, Bungie. You can go backwards. Like, we're not gonna be mad about it.
Just be transparent with us. Like, hey, sunsetting wasn't what we thought it was gonna be. All the stuff that sunset will be coming back in waves. Here's all the moon stuff. Here's all the burning, or here's all the Dreaming City stuff, and then eventually, and they can literally stop at that. Like, I don't care about all the other stuff that was beforehand. I guess, like Warmind stuff. It's just, you already brought that back with
they brought
Aquilo
it back
stuff
before. Exactly.
Yeah.
With main DLCs, they should, if they're gonna bring stuff back, like Shadowkeep and Forsaken, they should just bring that stuff, because it was main DLCs, and it's a whole influx of new players who are buying all the DLCs, right? So if you're a new player,
use any of it, because
I can see this being okay, because they're bringing back old stuff. But for those of us who are still playing the game, I mean, we're not gonna be able to use it in a year. It's gonna hit a new power cap. So at this point, with sunsetting, I'm kind of to the point where I think they should just revert the whole thing and either start from scratch or leave it how it was, because it sounded good on paper at the start for weapons, at least. Armor is a whole nother story. For sunsetting weapons, it sounded like a good idea, but bringing back the same weapon a year later with a different perk pool, at different power level, defeats the entire purpose of it. So it's tough if you've been grinding the game, because, I mean, you're just re-grinding the same loot. And I think all of us love the game, so we want to see new things every season. We want to see new guns to grind for, you know? Like, I love Waking Vigil, but it's so hard for me to get excited about it, because I did 100 menageries back in the day for it, or I grinded Dreaming City powerful, so it's so hard to get excited about that kind of stuff, you know?
I feel you.
I'm the type of person. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, when I saw it, I didn't care about any of it. I literally was just like, Maddox be pumped because I think he likes Waking Vigil. That's literally all I thought when I saw it.
Yeah.
Say what you're gonna say.
I'm not the person that's against, like, bringing old content back. I'm excited for whenever King's Fall comes back. I'm like dead serious. I will play that like I've never played it before in my life, but it's really annoying. And I think that, one, they've improved with this past DLC, the variety in PvP. I think guns wise, everybody's using stasis. We all know that. Guns wise, there is a lot of variety. There's a lot of things that you can use. There's definitely a meta, 120s, you know, things like that. But there's a lot of more things viable this season than there was last season. So I just don't understand I mean, I don't mind when stuff comes back, because then it's just adding to the variety, especially with Waking Vigil coming back. Everybody knows that was a pretty big, you know, pretty decently used hand cannon. But why not just have everything available?
Yeah. And
you know, like, why not? The variety would be insane.
Yeah.
Nobody would be complaining about this person's just using a true prophecy.
Yeah.
There's so many other 120s, a Duke and stuff like that, because the different perk rolls and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I've always been against sunsetting, just because it just takes away the variety that I think this game can have so much of.
Yes.
And Destiny's supposed to be about that variety. That's what's so special
Exactly.
about a game like Destiny is you have the mix of PvE and PvP, and like anybody can boot up the game and play any way they want and should be able to use this whole variety of stuff. But yeah, I agree. The variety is half there and it's being taken and given, you know, it seems just at random at this point.
And the thing that would make all of this better, and like if they were really going to go all in with this sunsetting, they said that we would be replacing these very good weapons with very good weapons, and they're not being replaced with anything. I mean, they had to bring weapons, and we talked about this. We've talked about this in past podcasts. I feel like we talk about this stuff all the time, but like earlier this season, they brought guns back into the whirlpool because there wasn't enough weapons. And that's just, I feel like if they're going to do sunsetting, you probably should just wait until after COVID and you're not working at home. Maybe just wait until like you can actually create a bunch of good weapons. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm always the one that gives them the benefit of the doubt this year for all working at their houses. Like that's difficult. But if you're going to take away everything and talk about this whole new future of different sandboxes with different weapons that go away and come quickly, we need better weapons that we're going to grind for. Especially if we're going to have to grind the same crap that we just say I was saying this before. Like we love this stinking game, but we just do the same stuff forever and ever, every day, always, and we still love it for some reason. But let me tell you, there's one. Or say it, Maddox. Because the next thing I'm going to say is kind of pushing outside of this. But tell me what you're going to say.
So here's one thing that actually is annoying about it as well too, is bringing back the old stuff. Is why does it replace what we already had? Like, why can't my Waking Vigil that I already have a god roll of just be bumped up? Yeah. So then the people that did grind that shit wasn't for no reason whatsoever. Like especially when I use it in PvE. In PvE, like, yeah, I can still use my Waking Vigil because of there's no power level in PvP, but that's the only time I can use it. You know. Like, why can't you just take that, give it the max power level that it's going to be sunset at next time, I guess?
How I see it is a kind of bad way of trying to get people to keep on playing the game. Because even though we grinded our Waking Vigils back in the day and they're going to bring it back, they realistically should give us just a higher power level, a higher infusion cap. But they want us to continue playing the game, so they're going to make us go regrind it. And that's a pretty core issue with the whole sunsetting and bringing things back.
And did they specify whether it's going to be world loot? Like, is it going to drop just as often as, a randomly rolled Gnawing Hunger is now? Or
I believe you're going to have to go do Dreaming City stuff for Waking Vigil.
Yeah.
Poop.
I don't even know what it says.
Shattered Throne. Dreaming City weapons that drop in the Shattered Throne dungeon can roll with perks that are unavailable from drops from other rewards. So I'm not sure exactly, but it does seem like you're going to be doing Dreamy City stuff and like Shattered Throne for the Dreamy City, and then Pit of Heresy, it's looking like, for the moon stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it says, like they say, while not every gear source or legendary reward will be kept up to date for the entire lifetime, these destinations are available. So basically they're like, these places are available and I guess you paid for them, so I guess we should give you the gear that goes with it, which is, I think, ethical, to be honest with you, because that's a whole nother conversation is it ethical that we paid for a lot of stuff that we just don't have anymore in the game? I mean, I don't know, maybe, but that's like a whole nother podcast. The only other thing that I think that is honestly that makes this whole TWAB great for people is right here. Short-term goal: address outlier stasis abilities to keep subclass decision making interesting. Reduce the potency of Shatter Dive plus Whisper of Fissures against Guardians going live with update 3.0.2. That is like by far, like, I feel like the biggest complaint I see everywhere is Shatter Dive hunters. I mean, it's rough.
Yeah, well, I mean, in my eyes, it's stasis in general. Yeah, Shatter Dive is very, very popular and very viable, but it's stasis in general. It's not just Shatter Dive.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, and I think that we can all give it I feel like everyone gives it a little bit of grace because it's still a brand new ability that we're still learning how to use, and the other ones have been around for like almost 7 years. So this one, like, literally, it has barely been tweaked. So it's just, we knew it was going to be crazy, and that's where it's at. So I think other than that, and this pretty much a 12. The rest is like they talked about some, like a Russian community manager or something, and then that's it. So, all right, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute, just because it makes me really upset like the whole idea of sunsetting. Not actually upset. I'm not like losing sleep. It's just something to talk about.
Yeah, no, of course, it's a debate for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
inside of that, I kind of talked about how we, play this game a lot, even whenever I personally still play it a lot, even whenever there's not like a ton of stuff to do. And you both come from different types of like backgrounds inside the game. I want to first start with Maddox for a second and talk about scrims. And some people, I mean, I'm sure people that are going to be listening to this in the future or watching this on YouTube or watching this on Twitch or whatever may not even know what scrims mean, like what community scrims mean, like scrimmages, whatever. Can you like kind of explain what that is and why you do it, like what it is in general? Because like people, I feel like give it a bad rep in a lot of ways, but they don't even know what it is. Like they're giving something they kind of like misconstrue about a bad rep. You know what I mean? Like the sweats community. I don't even know what that means. So I want to hear from you what it means.
Sure. So scrims, or also known as pickups. I guess there's two different things. There's pickups and there's scrims. Pickups are basically what I do, and that's where I host 5 people come into my chat or into my live channel as I'm streaming. Those 5 people come into my game, and we load up, and it's a 3v3 game mode. It's Clash to 50 points. There's a whole rule set, which I have come up with my own community rule set that I use for my scrims personally, which is based off of what my community has come up with. I have a whole feedback channel as well too, so I take in feedback, which the rules will be changing soon. But it is a little bit more of a competitive, controlled environment where it's 3 people going against 3 people. You kind of work more on your teamwork. It's a little bit more of a controlled environment. Work on your aim, work on your movement. It's almost like a practice arena, I guess you could say. But there is people that use that as a competitive thing, like tourneys and stuff like that. But that is not what my stuff is. I host community scrims on my channel where people come in, and I would say 50 to 60% of them that come in and play consistently have improved, that are kicking my butt now. Like people that I would feel confident playing against are now like, okay, I have to like think about where I place this guy, because I make the teams based off of my knowledge of if they're good, what character they're playing on, because you have like certain characters that you can't have more than 2 characters on a specific team and stuff like that, just for balancing issues.
Okay. So would you say that like you do this because, is it just because you guys, is it like, because we're going to talk about this in a minute, and I apologize for interrupting, but this is important for this combo because PvP is in like a rough place, like regular, not private matches, which is what you're doing. Like regular multiplayer PvP is rough right now. Would you be playing regular PvP right now competitively if you could, or would you be doing this? And is this like a form of like controlling things on your own, basically, so that you can kind of make the fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason I do it, one, is because I want to improve, and I think that's the best way in my mind to improve, instead of going into 6v6 game mode where it's just ability spamming, or if it's just pub stomping, and it's just 6v6s aren't horrible. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not bashing quick play. I'm not bashing comp. I just don't enjoy it. So to enjoy the game and enjoy my time streaming, I would much rather sit in a private match and get my shit kicked in more so than go into comp and play cheaters. Or that's another thing. It's an escape from the anti-cheat. We're playing against people that we're friends with. We're giving each other feedback, like, hey, you played so well doing this. Maybe if you want to work on this, or hey, can I play with this instead so I can focus on getting better at sniping and stuff like that. It's nothing other than just focusing on improving and just having a fun time, because a lot of people don't like 6s if they're, a little bit more serious about the game. Or comp, just to me, it just isn't in a good spot because of cheaters, trials for cheaters, and it's just stacks and stuff like that. I don't think they're horrible game modes, and I think people do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but personally, I just don't think they're optimized well for fun.
Yeah.
And I think that if a lot of people definitely look into scrims, which I would encourage anybody that's listening, hit me up every time I go live. I stream community scrims, or we're doing some type of PvP activity that's welcoming, that's positive, it's just an improvement environment, and we just have a good vibes and just hanging out. And I would recommend anybody that want that kind of experience, or even questions about PvP and stuff like that. My whole Discord is filled with people that have, a lot of PvP knowledge.
Yeah,
so
it's a whole big world, because like this game's massive, and that's the cool part about Destiny is there's all kinds of different communities inside of it.
So many.
and
There's a Gambit scrim community as well too.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't imagine that. Dead serious. What you're doing, the cool thing about what you're doing specifically, and it's not just you. There's a lot of people doing what you're doing as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But the cool thing is, it's like it can be very intimidating to go into a private match with random people. And I think things that what you're doing is like a positive, and it's not like this like, oh, it's just positive. We're positive. Like that word gets thrown around very, very like a lot.
Sometimes it's used pretty lightly, yeah. Yes. But in all seriousness,
this is like actually like you don't have to be good. Like you just come in and play, and you get better if that's what you want to do. All right, so let me pause on that for a second. Frostee, I want to talk to you for a minute because you're on the other side of this. You are playing PvE often. Like, tell me about like where you come from, because it's not normal to just do like low man things. Like that's not like normal humans don't just want to do that. So I want to know why you do it and what kind of community is there, because I don't really know much about that community. I just want to hear about it.
Yeah. So I started doing low mans at I think it was around mid 2018. Me and some buds just started taking the game way more seriously when it came to PvE stuff. Like we still have fun with it, but we really wanted to try and push ourselves as players, because this game has a lot to offer in the end game when it comes to challenges. My first raid, Ivory Lowman, we did 2-man Callus, and that one, looking back, I thought at the time was the hardest thing I was ever going to accomplish in the game, because I was learning and I was brand new. And now looking back, that's something that I could like go and help friends with. And the main reason I do challenges personally is I just think it's fun to push yourself as a player. And I mean, that's why a lot of people play even like PvP, is because they like to push themselves. And PvE for me is something that I can sit there and grind, and I can play with different friends. And the PvE in this game is really complex in the end game, but Bungie doesn't really give you that complex feeling in a 6-man, if that makes sense. Like a 6-man, if everyone knows what they're doing, it's a pretty casual time, but not for everyone. But when you play the game enough, the 6-man stuff gets a little boring. So you start cutting some fire team members down, and once you get down to something like a 3-man or a 2-man, it just, for me personally, becomes so much more fun. And it forces me to really think about what I do. I have to think about where I'm positioning myself, what abilities I have available, what my job is, because when you're in a 3-man or a 2-man, your job doubles, triples, and it gets crazy. And so low mans for me are something to push myself for fun, but then also to practice for day one, because day one raids, there's not a lot of things to prepare yourself for in the normal game. Like you can go run as many raids as you want with your day one team, but you guys are going to be frying through them, just not even thinking about it. So when you split half your raid team into a 3-man and go do a low man, you guys are going to have to really sit there and grind and think about your decisions. And, you know, you actually have to think, which for a lot of PvE normal stuff, it's pretty casual, you know? So it's fun for me. It's good day one practice, and day ones, I finally got to do my first day one with Crypt, and we beat it. And so I'm looking to place high in the next one, and who knows, even go for worlds first. So
yeah, that's like the whole other world too, because like you're in a competitive PvE clan, right? What's it called again?
Yes, Clan Obtained.
Okay,
so we go by Obtained, and we all have the same main goal, which is a world's first, but we just love day one in general. But low mans are just a great way to practice, a great way to push ourselves and assess where we are, what we need to work on. It's just a great way to bond with like our clan. I mean, like when you're in a challenge for, 6 hours, I mean, you're going to have to be able to sit there and have a good time, or else it won't be fun. And so we all love to do low mans and just, take that PvE endgame to the kind of just the next level.
That's dope. I love it.
I'd love to add to that if you got a second.
Go for it.
I will say that to backpack what he's saying, that for me being mainly a PvP player and just basic knowledge about the game, there's not very many things in this game PvE wise that's difficult with the amount of people that it's given to. I agree. 6-man raids. Day one, I did it 12 hours, completed it. Did I find it extremely difficult?
Good for you. Sorry.
it was difficult just because of the light level. Like finding out the things in the strats and stuff like that weren't really that difficult.
It wasn't easy.
It was simply just getting your damage down, your rotations and stuff like that. But so I understand why they do that, because it's the same thing. You're challenging yourself in PvP. You're using a loadout you're not normally used to, or you're trying a different subclass that you're not normally playing with. It's very comparable. So I mean, you're literally challenging yourself to do something that's made for 6 people, but you're literally cutting your resources in half. So
This is
I
perfect.
don't blame you, bro. Like shit like that. If I was a PvE main, I'd be doing it too. I don't blame it.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it one day, but I just don't have the need for it. So
This is where no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that there is a cap to like everything. Like PvP, there is a cap. So then you bring in something like scrims, and it's a controlled environment where everyone can push themselves, farther than normal. And then for like PvE, you have low mans where there's only so far you can go with the 6-man raid. I love 6-man raids; they're a blast. I love doing them with chat, teaching them to new people. But when I really am trying to sit there and improve, I need to, go into a harder environment. And so low mans just for me have been like the perfect avenue, and I've been able to meet so many cool people. And there's so many clans out there right now, like pushing their players to do these low mans, and so many people are getting into them. And I don't want to like self-promote too much, but myself and my friend Mac, who's in chat right now, we've been actually doing 3-man Deep Stone Crypt helps. So him and I will raffle off a spot to a third person from chat, and we go into Deep Stone Crypt with 3 people, and we actually teach them how to low man it, and then we end up doing the whole raid with them with 3 people. And we've been able to help, I believe, 8 teams or 9 teams right now. Then we've got 9 people their first ever low man. And so even when it comes to like low mans, you can help teach new people and get them into that kind of thing. So for me as a PvE player, it's just been like the perfect avenue, like to just have fun but feel like I'm improving and going past the normal end game.
That's amazing. It's crazy to listen to both of you talk about this and realize that they're like the exact same thing, just on that other
it's
side
so
of the spectrum.
comparable.
Yep.
It really
Yep.
is.
Which brings me to our main discussion, okay? PvE versus PvP. I want to talk about it tonight because it's a big talk, because there's a lot of talk about why, and I think we've already talked about some of it. A lot of it is like, what's the drive to why people play PvE? What's the drive to why people play PvP? Why do people do endgame stuff? Is it loot? Is PvE being treated better than PvP? There's like a huge discussion here.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about it.
Oh, I love to answer that question.
Let's talk about it. And I don't care if it gets heated, because I want to hear your guys' honest opinions. We can cut each other off. We can punch each other in the face. I don't care.
I 100% PvE is way more optimized from like PvP gets looked down on by the whole entire Bungie community. I don't care what anybody says. They take away our maps. They take away all of our good guns. They take away so much crap from us, and all we can do is tell them stop. Like, can you please stop taking all of our stuff? Like, they take away game modes that we can't even do private matches with anymore.
Maps.
Like literally, like they take shit away from us in a $60 expansion. What are we supposed to do? Like, I don't understand. Like, stop taking so much crap from us, man. They take away our PvP guns. Like, they even take away Mountaintop. Come on, bro. Like, they take away all of our pinnacle weapons that we go to legend rank for. Like,
Dude, that's
it's
true.
just crap.
That's actually annoying, to be honest with you. I think anything
And
pinnacle.
here's one more thing.
Go.
Destiny 2 is not just a PvE game, okay? It has PvP for a freaking reason, okay? It's there because people want to play it, because people want to play in a competitive. There's literally esports. I'm sorry, but you don't see esports for story games, okay? You just don't. Like, there's literally people making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars competing in PvP games. Destiny 2, there's people with earnings. There is, okay? Get over it. There's tourney earnings. I've hosted tourneys myself. I've given people money for winning my tournaments. It is not just a PvE game, and I will die on that hill until the end of my freaking life, okay?
Frostee.
Sorry.
See, I want to argue with Maddox so bad, but I can't on this one.
You know I'm right.
Because he's right.
It's not cap or anything, bro. This is not just a PvE game. I don't care what anybody says. They literally come out with weekly things saying, like, we're going to do this for PvE. Like, they only literally give us crappy weekly updates of damage numbers that are changing. Like, that's all we get. That's all we get. You guys get story missions. You guys get all the lore and stuff like that, all we get is damage numbers changing every other week. We don't get loot.
Yeah.
No reason to go flawless. No reason to freaking play comp. Literally none.
So would you say that, like, I feel this way. I feel the same way. And I think it all comes down to Bungie deciding what this game is, because they're confusing. They're giving us mixed signals here. They're like telling us we're cute, but they're dating our friend, you know? Like, they're saying, here's PvP, an entire game mode with an entire community. Here's PvE, an entire part of the game, like the majority of the game. Is it one or the other? Like, I feel like this is the point where we got to figure out which one it is. Like, you either cut. I mean, they're not going to cut PvE. That's the thing.
So of course not. No, it's storytelling, and there's storytelling. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm getting irritated here because it's something that I
love the
freaking care about. It's storytelling, and it's great. They're so good at it. There's so much lore. This could literally be just everlasting. There's literally books made about this game. Like, there's grimoire, whatever it used to be called. There's lore. There's someone that is famous for telling the lore on YouTube. Like, this game has fantastic storytelling. I get that. There is a whole entire story. There's strikes that tell the story. There's raids that are inside the story. There's story missions that come out weekly. Like, there's progressive seasonal content in the story, but that's not just it. Like, there's still PvP stuff to do. Like,
and it's FPS. It's first person shooter PvP, which is different than like any other game that has extra PvP on the side. Like, this is like Call of Duty, where you got your campaign and then you got your PvP. It's two things that like Halo. You got your story and then you got your PvP. And then you can play competitively if PvP if they say the right things about it, and you can play PvE competitively on this game, yes, because, you know, like Frostee is literally helping human beings do stuff in the end game. What were you saying, Frostee, before I rudely cut you off?
I was gonna say, like I said earlier, like, that's what part of makes Destiny Destiny. The fact that you can go run a strike, get a gun, and then go shoot people with it in PvP. I can't think of an FPS out there that does that.
Right.
And even Crucible has lore to it. I mean, Shaq's kept the helmet on. We all know that. You know, like, they're so connected. They're so connected, and I would personally hate to see them cut off PvP, because we know that if they're going to keep one, it's going to be PvE, because there's a much bigger PvE player base. Because PvE is easier for just a casual gamer to go and hop in and get loot. If they go into PvP, they're going to sit there frozen the whole time. They're not going to get loot, and they're going to want their money back. So if they're going to keep one, they're going to choose PvE because it makes more money. But then it won't be Destiny.
Yeah.
That's part of the beauty of Destiny, is that you have both. And right now, I would say when they're allocating resources for the two, they're giving PvE. I don't want to put a number to it, but probably 80 to 90% of what we're seeing from Bungie, communication-wise, is PvE. PvP, they'll say stuff here and there, but actually putting it into action, we're hardly seeing anything from them. And I personally love Destiny PvP. Right now, it's tough to love because of stasis, but I think it plays
that's
amazing.
When you come on over to Maddox.
Exactly.
Come on over. If you don't like what PvP's doing, guess what, buddy? We control the rules.
Yeah.
We can do whatever the hell we want.
You guys are the developers.
Exactly. And I did the pickups with Maddox, and it was one of the most fun times I've literally ever had in PvP of Destiny, because we got to control it and it was fun. But the thing about Destiny, it plays so smooth. It's such a nice feeling FPS game to play. That's why I feel like its PvP is popular. That's why I feel like a lot of people are drawn to it. There's not a lot of FPS games out there with this kind of gun reg and this kind of movement, and just it feels like a very fluid game. And so I feel like that's why PvP does have love. But I mean, Bungie's not really returning the love for it. And as a PvE player, I can confidently say we're getting more from them. And that's, for a game like Destiny, it shouldn't work like that.
And here's going to be a pretty hot topic. Okay. And I actually kind of already forgot it because it was in my head like literally 5 minutes ago.
Remember it.
Like,
you can't say that and then not tell us.
No, I'll remember it. And what was it?
Just keep saying words. It'll come out.
Okay, just to say other things. When it comes to like Destiny as a whole, I guess you could say I enjoy it. Like I know I play a lot of PvP, and I know I'm probably known for PvP or whatever, I guess you could say. But I still play the game for raids. I still raid with my clan mates. I still raid with my friends. I still do the strikes. I still do all the other stuff. I love the PvE side of it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know this kind of sounds like I'm crapping on it, but I'm not. I definitely think that in general, it's great. And I think, like I said, the storytelling's great. The lore is great. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but I swear to gosh, if they take away PvP, I would be livid. It would be so pointless.
Yeah, because I mean, look at the content that you have to. So this isn't for everyone. So this is where the conversation isn't for everyone in the community, because these are content creators on this podcast right now. Like, we need stuff to show people on the internet, and playing the campaign of Beyond Light over and over again, which you can't even do. You can only do it once. That's not fun to watch. Competitive PvP is what people watch on the internet. Like, I mean, I don't know if like Counter-Strike, CS:GO, or whatever. That's competitive PvP, and that's what hundreds of thousands of people watch. That's what is interesting. You know what I mean? So like, we are extremely mad about their, like, so say if they got rid of PvP, there'd be a billion people who wouldn't even care. They'd be like, what's PvP? I don't even know what that means. But then there'd be people like us that'd be like, they're like Lemur, for instance. The dude does trials carries all weekend, has a huge community built around PvP. If it was gone, boom. You know what I mean?
Just take it from
channel.
him. Just taken from
not
him,
that
bro.
he's
People
not
literally.
Not that he's not interesting, because he is. He's extremely interesting. But
He's
that's
flawless.
just like,
I love him to death. Yeah.
But that's like when TV shows get canceled that people watch. Their audience is just like, what the frick? Now where do I go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like,
There's no, but the thing about that is he can't tell you where to go, because all them guys that he plays with have now gotten their shit taken from him.
yes, it's insane, which brings in a whole nother.
I remember the hot take, by the way.
Let's say it right now.
Okay, so hot take. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You take any PvP player, any knowledgeable PvP player, and they will be able to do anything in this game PvE wise easily. You take a PvE person that does their strikes and all that stuff, and they're clueless in PvP. There's so much more knowledgeable, and I'm just gonna say they're just better gamers in PvP world than there is in PvE.
There's science to that.
Sorry, Frostee.
I mean, I agree to an extent. I agree to an extent.
Okay.
I remember specifically MTash making that statement, and I've never agreed with something that he has said in his life other than that. You take someone that is very knowledgeable at PvP because they know the game when it is high octane, fast, you got to think on the fly, and you put them in a raid. Why do you think that all these IM teams and band cam girls, we finished the day one raid? You know how many times we raid together? Maybe once a month.
Also,
and we still finish day one. Like, it's not that hard. So I just don't think you can take anybody from strikes or raids and stuff like that and put them in trials and see how well they do. I just don't. That was my hot take.
There's science to that, though, I feel like, in a way, because, I mean, when you're playing against other humans, it's a lot different than playing against a robot, essentially.
Exactly.
Well, for example, in day one, Deep Stone Crypt, I know there are a lot of teams who sat in there the whole time and didn't get it. And major props for even trying. It takes a lot to be able to go into a day one and even try. It's
absolutely
like the most exclusive PvE thing in the game. But I will say from experience and the Deep Stone Crypt day one, those ads in there, I could walk up to one, melee at 3. I could melee 3 ads and walk away spotless. In past day ones, Last Wish, you go up to an ad, it's a death sentence. You're done. GG's. So I will say this Deep Stone Crypt, they definitely did not tune things up as high as they should, and I think that the raid ended up being easier because of that, and that kind of sucked for people like me who wanted it to be a big challenge.
Do you remember it was a week and a half we had to prepare, not 4 days?
Yeah,
that's true as well.
Remember that everybody was ready for that.
Every was up to power.
Everybody.
For Last Wish, everyone was under, no matter what. You could have done the power. You could have done the prime engram farm. So I think the leveling, that's a whole nother topic, the leveling and all that. I think it's bad. But this day one was definitely easier, which sucks for people like me that, our teams were sitting in there hours a day just practicing because we were ready. We were like, if this is Last Wish, we're going to be one of the 2 teams to finish it. But so back to the whole, PvP players going to PV and all that. I do agree to a certain extent because PvP, I think even regular PvP, going in there and either QP, comp, trials, whatever it may be, you definitely, I feel like, have to use more of your brain when you're playing against real players, and the game forces you to think about what you're doing more. I mean, if you W key in there with a sniper, you have no escape plan, you're gonna die, right? You have to think about what you're doing. In PvE, when you go and do strikes, you have 3 people, and you're only gonna wipe if everyone's doing something funny, If you're if you're sitting there shooting AI that are easy in the game, it's so hard for the casual like PvE players to ever hit that end game. So that's why I think that people that push themselves in PvE can do fine in PvP. Because like me and my buds who low man, we'll go play trials and we've gone flawless. It's not easy by any means. We get ran over when there's PvP players that are sweaty. But so I think that that's one of the problems with Destiny PvE is it definitely caters to the casual player base, which is fine, but there needs to be more options that are regular items in the game, regular things in the game for us PvE players to go do and push yourselves. Like, we shouldn't have to look for content, and we shouldn't have to make our own content that pushes us.
Right.
That's
I don't think from a PvP I don't think anything in this game should be soloable. Like, other than the low stuff, but like raids, why are there people soloing that thing? Like, that's pitiful to me. That is terrible. Like, that is terribly made. If someone can go in there and solo a raid encounter, or solo a whole entire raid, or even solo a GM Nightfall, like that to me just is a bad look when it comes to development.
I come from like an in between, because I don't know if I'm lazy, but I don't prefer things to be extremely difficult. I'm kind of dumb. I mean, you guys Frostee, you haven't played with me much.
And
Maddox has.
There's the thing.
But say it.
I said there's a thing like that. There can be the outlier of regular raid, the hard mode raid for the freaking tryhards. Like, if you don't want to get if you don't want to try hard, you want to go do the raid for the experience, do the normal.
But I want the hard one.
Experience where you're 50 light levels below, do the hard mode.
I want that one.
Challenge yourself.
I don't know why hard mode
is that not a thing?
Gone. They were in D1 and they were spectacular.
Every raid had a hard mode.
You could go LFG and you could fly through a 6-man, have a good time. You could get your raid loot. But then if everyone wanted to stick around and really push themselves, you go to a hard mode. You get rewarded extra, and you actually have to use more than 2 brain cells inside the raid. Because, I mean, I don't want everything to be hard. I think things like regular strikes, you should be able to queue into a playlist with 2 randoms and, be fine. You shouldn't have to sit there for an hour in a strike. But I think hard mode raids are the easiest solution to giving PvE players a hard thing to do. I think that PvE lacks normal in-game content that's difficult, so that's why we go in low man, because we have to make our own difficult content.
You can't think about or you can't like overlook all the stuff you guys have gotten though. Don't forget that. Like, you guys gotten dungeons. You can go solo the dungeon, by the way. I've done it. I've done it myself. I'm a PvP player. Yeah, it's pretty simple if you ask me. You guys, 3 dungeons? 2 raids? Like, can we keep going? Strikes, story missions. What is PvP gotten? We've gotten shit taken away from us. Like, come on, bro.
Going into a major DLC, a whole community and a whole half of the game shouldn't go into a major DLC with less content.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened at PvP.
It's pitiful, man.
What do you think the reasoning is behind this? Do you think, because we didn't used to get things taken away constantly. That wasn't always a thing. In Destiny 1, there were maps added whenever DLCs came out, and they tried. There wasn't as many updates in D1. Like, there wasn't sandbox updates all the time. There wasn't like weekly updates that would happen that would fix things quickly. Now they can do that. Like, they can do stuff on the fly, especially when they did that whole like massive server turnaround thing at the beginning of the season, or beginning of Beyond Light, whatever it was. Why do you think this is happening? Why is PvP being? Is it because stupid? Is it because there's a pandemic? Is that what it is? Is that going to be it forever?
Oh, I'm sure that has something to do with it, with the whole working from home thing, and that's okay. But I want them to recognize it. Like, there's not a single word.
That's true.
Hey, PvP players, guess what? We took all this stuff away from you because in the next big DLC, you guys are going to be getting this, or the next expansion or season pass, whatever the hell, you guys been getting this. Like, prepare for this. Like, we need room to put this in. Like, just let us know what's happening, bro, instead of just taking stuff away and not saying a word. And that's why people are frustrated, and that's why I'm frustrated, is because it's nonsense. Guess what? You guys got a dungeon taken away. Guess what? A month later, it came right back.
Yeah, it did.
And it's pitiful, bro.
That's true. Communication, I feel like, has always been a problem, especially, like, obviously mainly to the PvP community, but in general, they just need to be more transparent about things. Like we talked about earlier, just the sun setting, but then bringing back 4 random weapons out of the wazoo. I mean, they need to communicate things like that, but obviously PvP has been sitting in the dark, and that's not fair. That's not okay. And
they could have literally given us an old map with this past TWAB, and I think people would have shut the heck up. Like, hey guys, we're bringing back this map.
Yes.
Hey, guess what? Asylum's coming back, and PvP people would have nutted, bro. They would have just gone crazy if they brought back Asylum. But guess what? That's all we want. We just want little things like that. Just keep trickling us the little content.
Just crumbs.
Just give me the. Just come on, man. Give me the stuff we want. But like, just.
Why don't they? Why don't they look at other games that do this nicely, like Call of Duty? Like they stay alive because they add maps each month or whatever.
Weekly updates because stuff is broken. Like I've played COD a lot recently in the DMR. Broken. I got to play with it for a week until it got patched. Like that's how crazy it is. Like there's community focus. Like there's hey, we know this is broken. Give us a second. We're gonna fix it. Yeah. You know. And hey, we know stasis is broken. Give us a second. Just let us know that you see it. That you see the problems. That you see what we're complaining about. Like, and I know I sound like a negative freaking Nancy right now, but damn it,
it's because we care.
It's because we know the potential, and we play and stream this game. Not some of us for a living, some of us because we enjoy it. But we want to play stuff that we enjoy. No one wants to come to a stream and when we're all just complaining about shit that we're doing
the whole time.
I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to be excited about, hey guys, guess what? We have a new map coming next week. Yay!
Hey, they added some new they added some new rule sets that you can do in customs. Like literally that is small. You know, and
that's the only thing they've added was the new respawn timers. And guess what? We're still using the same one as before because they didn't give us like a 4 seconds or 6 seconds.
So
and 5 seconds ain't any better.
Do you guys know? Like, I don't know much about the original idea of what PvP was supposed. Like, whenever Bungie was developing Destiny 1, like all the way back, did they lay out groundwork? Does anyone know like the groundwork of what that was supposed to be? Like, is it supposed to be something that they started with that's supposed to be good, or did they just give us a lot at one point and got us all hyped up, and then now they're just giving us nothing and not saying anything? Like, I don't know if I would get it more if it wasn't supposed to ever be something.
The weekly updates in Destiny 1 and even beginning of Destiny 2 were way more consistent. Changes, stuff like that. Communication was way more consistent.
I think Activision was one of the reasons that PvP was getting pushed so far forward is because, people who want to play the game for PvP will buy the game just for PvP, and that's another big seller. And Activision, wanted to push lots of products forward for the money. And so I think Activision actually was a positive for the PvP side because they always wanted to push something new out so that more people would buy it. And then with D2, they wanted to make it a more competitive game. That's why they, made every single weapon in a certain slot.
Right.
They tried to make everything more simple.
Static rolls and
Activision
everything.
was trying to make this a competitive shooter. They wanted Destiny 2 to be something that could go have a $1 million tournament LAN, And so I think the Activision being around for PvP at least, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but
I totally
agree. For PvP at least, I feel like Activision was pushing more stuff forward because they knew it was such a big selling point, would be a big selling point.
Yeah, and I think that, do you think this too, then this is all just us guessing, whenever Bungie and Microsoft were connected, whenever they were making Halo, do you think Microsoft had something to do with the PvP side of that as well, and the Bungie side of it was more of the PvE? I don't know. I didn't play those, so I have no idea what that looked like. I just always hear people talking about competitive.
Yeah, I don't have much experience with that, so
competitive.
I don't have much. I know that the studio from back when Bungie was with Halo and the studio for D2 for Destiny now is almost a whole new studio. Like some of the OGs are still there from what I've heard, but I think for the most part all the developers are like full like new house. I think that with Halo, I think almost all the Bungie people moved to 343 to stay with Halo.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that Destiny is more of a kind of like a new house of developers.
I just didn't know if that, because what you're saying about Activision makes a lot of sense to me personally. But it sucks that there's the elephant of the room of, like, we always talk. I can always come back to this, is the whole working from home studio thing and resources from Activision leaving. Like, we don't really. That's what all of this comes down to, them just being more transparent. Like, yo, listen, we don't have enough money.
Absolutely.
We don't have enough money to make a map. Like, if they said that, they'd get forgiven by, I mean, there'd still be a bunch of idiots who are like, no, you're stupid. Get the money. You hate us. I'd be like, I respect it. That makes sense. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go play a PvP
tell
game
us, bro.
on another thing.
People
The new map's coming.
are going to accept it.
Just tell us, bro. Like, give us even just like tease us. Like, hey guys, here's some sugar. You like here's your sweet tooth. Like, just tell us what you guys are even thinking, bro. It's just nothing. Here's 4 weapons that you guys used to have. All god rolls here. Go get them again. Like, that's all we get, man.
Yeah.
And I'm talking from a PvP side. You guys might be absolutely freaking just appalled that we have 2 rockets coming. I don't know if you guys are or not, but I damn sure ain't.
I don't care at all.
I don't know anybody that's excited about a rocket launcher in this game, because there's not a single one other than Wardcliff Coral that's good.
All I care about is seals. I just want to get seals done.
Seals they're a nice thing to grind. I actually, before I really got into PvE hardcore, I used to be a QP sweat. Early Forsaken and lots of Year 1, I would boot up every day, go to quick play, Dustrock Blues and Not Forgotten, and I would go there just farm QP all day. So I can sympathize with the PvP side of things for sure. And as a content creator nowadays, I mean, I try to keep up, I try to stay informed with the game and the community. And I have so many friends who are PvP streamers like Maddox, and so I can see the hurt, and it's simply not fair as a PvE player to see the imbalance.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, PvP is PvP. Like, it's the same thing. People going into trials, people doing this and that. There is toxicity, but there's just as much toxicity in the PvE world as well too. And I don't care what anybody says.
I can speak to that.
There's no cap. I don't care who you are. You have to surround yourself or watch people, because there's the Twitch world as well too. And there's a streaming community. You have to surround yourself with people that you want to play with that aren't toxic. You will come up against it. There are little children that play this freaking game just like there is in every other video game. It's a video game. So you all have to remember that we're only playing a video game.
Yes,
okay?
that is the part that
we
people
come
forget.
home from our stressful jobs. No one wants to get on this game and be stressed out about some 12-year-old saying that we're trash, or some 12-year-old saying that you can't do this raid because you don't have 100 clears and you haven't done it flawless yet. No one cares. Okay? Surround yourself with people that you vibe with. And I know I sound like a POS, but I promise, if you come into my stream, I will greet you like you are my brother. Okay? And I'm very welcoming, but I care about what I create. I care about the content that I'm trying to put out. And whenever it's not there, it's annoying.
We care, and that's why we talk like this, because we want to be heard and we want to see things improve when it comes to Destiny, because we all love this game at the end of the day. And so, I mean,
absolutely.
Speaking real quick to the PvE toxicity, I feel terrible again for the PvP community. Everyone just looks at it from the outside and thinks that they're toxic because you run into QP and get bagged or whatever. People think that the PvP community is toxic, and the PvE community, there's a cesspool down there, and there's a website called Raid Report. Nothing against it. It's a totally fine website, but there are people that'll look at their raid report, look at their raids, look at the challenges they've done, and if you haven't done as many as them, if you aren't as good as them in their eyes, quote unquote, then you're just a terrible player, and they'll be what's the word? They'll be a jerk to you, just like you would have run into in PvP sometimes. So that definitely goes both ways. So like Maddox said, this community is full of some of those positive people there are. I mean, I've met some of literally the nicest humans ever in this community, and couldn't ask for better friends to be surrounded by. So I mean, this community can always do better, and I'm definitely proud of what a lot of us push for.
Same.
Agreed.
I think it's
chat. I don't know if anybody, Luke as well too. I love Frostee to death. I don't know if anybody knows that, but get him vibe a lot. Okay, and I know we sound like we're arguing with each other, but we do.
This
love
is
each
the
other.
like most unarguing arguing I've ever witnessed. So the Destiny community is amazing. I've talked about it a lot. Like we started, I co-host a podcast called the Destiny Nerds. Like for goodness sakes, I would have never thought in a million. This is a video game that made me want to make a podcast with somebody. Like what the heck?
Right.
So let's finish this conversation with this last part of the topic because we're going a little over on time, but that's okay. I think that the rewards on both PvP and PvE side of things are terrible. Like they're bad.
Absolutely.
Ranking up, bad. Leveling, bad. It's all bad, in my opinion. And
There's
it's just
no
my
reason,
opinion.
and a lot of people come on this to play chill PvP. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people go on to play sixes to go play, Rumble and stuff like that. And there is absolutely no reason, none, to reset your Valor. It's actually better to not reset your Valor because then you don't get all these stupid freaking notifications on your screen that pop up every time you win a game. It's literally better to not reset your Valor. Why am I not getting an Ascendant Shard or a Prism every time I reset my Valor?
Or like a high stat
something.
roll exotic armor piece. Something
We
like
love
that.
getting 48 roll stats.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm doing the raid and I get 54s. Like, come on. That's why I don't even want to do the raid anymore.
Yeah, or a prestige
it's
system,
pitiful.
like some sort of prestige system with ranks. I don't know. There's like a million little things that.
For a looter shooter, the loot is lacking.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And,
Too
I
much
mean,
shooting, not enough looting.
Exactly. I think one thing about like the D1 rep system that was amazing was it gave bounties a purpose that didn't level up an XP that is going to reset every 3 months, and you could choose between it was 3 packages. You could choose a weapon package, an armor package, a package, and a chroma package. If they did that in D2, just make those packages have a minimum stat line. I'm sure to write one line of code, say this package will not drop anything under a 60. And I think that would help the game so much. There need to be minimum stats if we're gonna take this whole new armor.
You could literally
3.0
choose your
system.
grind. You could choose to grind something. Like you could choose, okay, I'm gonna go play PvP because I know once I do this, I'll get this. I know once I get 25 headshots, I'll complete this bounty, and that bounty will get me over the hump to get this. Like, sounds pretty fun to me.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know.
I think.
When's the next Bungie summit? Call us up.
Yeah, have us. We have
Come bring the
ideas because I have a lot of my ideas are just what they had. I think personally, and I don't know what you guys think. I think it'd be so cool if the XP, how we have a season rank. I think that it'd be cool that you could see the season rank up to 100, but your like actual level above your head could go to infinity. But it went in between seasons. So like, I mean, maybe it wouldn't work eventually because you'd have like 10,000 over your head. But I like the idea of something that shows that you've been playing the game a lot and that you've invested in the game over time rather than within months. That's why I like seals, because if I have all the seals, it looks like I invested all my time. I wasted all my time playing the game, so I might as well show something for it.
Can I add something to those seals
yes.
real quick? So I think what they should add are gilded seals, or I don't know what the word would be, but I would love to see them add a special type of seal, because this is the third time that I'm doing the Conquer seal, and I have the
Third
exact
flawless
same
and
seal
everything.
Twice, just sitting there in my
Same.
in my
I have 2 of them. I'm not going to do it the third time.
I went and did the first flawless, even though like as a PvP player, I didn't go for the second one, but like save when I get my third Conquer, it just looks extra special. Someone can see that I went and did the third one, and I think that
I wish
that would
that
just
was a
be
thing.
one extra incentive. Maybe give them a golf ball or something after the third seal completion if they're going to keep on repeating
Ornaments
them like that.
as well too. I want my character to look like
Cosmetics.
a badass because I've flawless the dungeon.
Dude, that would be
Yep.
sick.
Like, give me a helmet ornament or
specific
a glow
ornaments
or
for
something
seals.
like-
Ooh, there's so many things.
Yeah.
Frick.
It's just there's so many. I feel I don't want to say simple, but I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of just little things we could throw in there
Quality
that
of
would
life,
spice up the
baby.
game. Quality of life, yeah, just that would spice up the game and bring a lot
Glowhoo?
more replayability.
How much of a badass did you like in D1 when you had Glowhoo on your shit, bro?
Dude, with
Give
all
me
the
a
raid,
super-
oh man,
I was God. I was Jesus in the tower when
No,
I
you weren't.
wore Glowhoo. Okay, like people respected you. Chatterwhite, like even the
Super
hard
black.
mode King's Fall that gave you that nice like glowing green look as well. Oh,
Hard
I was
mode
God.
Wrath
I was
had the
Jesus
glowing
in the
red look.
tower,
yeah.
and nobody could tell me different.
Hard mode Wrath had a nice glowing red one.
Mm-hmm. You had
strike
the hard
loot,
mode
strike
ornaments.
specific loot.
You had the glowing
regular
triangles
strikes.
off of your shoulder, bro. Come on,
we know what Bungie can do. And I get that right now during the pandemic it'd be hard, but like Maddox and you said earlier, just tell us that the pandemic is the reason that something's being slowed down.
Yes, say that.
We'll wait, and then one day, just
bro, we'll still be here. Realistically, we've been here for almost 7 years. Why we are gonna be here? We're not gonna go anywhere.
Absolutely.
There's a whole.
It's sad
community.
that some people are, like turning away from the game, and I think that myself included, I like to play other games right now. Like just the other day for my stream, I started a nightmare difficulty playthrough Doom Eternal because that kind of goes with like my hard PvE stuff that I do. So I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing at all to be grinding other games. I mean, we should be able to play whatever we want, but I wish, especially as a mainly Destiny content creator, I wish that I could boot up the game every day. I just not have to try and just scrape at the ground for content,
or even just scrape the will to get on the game.
Yeah.
Here's what I wanted to say as well too, and I kind of already lost my freaking train of thought. Gosh bless.
It had to do with people leaving the game. That's what.
Yes. Okay. So I was literally gonna tweet today. It honestly makes me so sad to see big content creators, or even my friends that I know liked this game 6 months ago, uninstall, move away, and go play something else. And you just never hear from them ever again because they're onto a different game. And no, Bungie's crap, Destiny's crap.
Were they real
why are you even
friends
playing that
then?
game? Huh?
Were they real friends then? If you never heard again?
It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, it's just so saddening to see people whenever we love something so much. I want to show them why I love it. Maybe that will bring their spark back. It's just really saddening to see people move on and ask the questions. Are they ever going to come back? Are you ever going to stream this game again?
I feel like if we got more communication, there could at least be hope. Like, hey, if I know that the next season's going to be amazing, I can sit here and wait it out, So
right.
I feel like if they communicated better as to what we were getting and how it would, be laid out, they could at least keep people excited long enough to tide them over. But we've been in a cycle of sitting in the dark, waiting to hear what next is going to, go away, that people are they've given up hope and they don't want to wait anymore. So they don't think the game will get fixed and they leave, and it sucks. It's sad.
It's sad. It really is. It truly is.
I'm very optimistic about the future, and I think something good is going to happen. I think that this year will turn around at some point. I just think all of us here, whoever's listening, whoever's watching, stick with it. It's okay. You don't have to quit the game completely. You can go play other games for a while, then come back. I promise. It's more fun to do that. I've had this weird section of time right now where I don't particularly want to not be playing games, but I don't have a way to, because where I'm at currently in my life is not a place where I don't have video games at my house. I don't have a spot for it because I'm living with my in-laws. So I am realizing that when I come back to play it once a week or twice a week, it's super fun, even when there's not a lot of stuff to do. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people out there that are probably listening or watching that might maybe stumble upon this, that you're not a seriously hardcore content creator or hardcore player that has 8, 10, 20, 30 hours a week. You play the game for 30 minutes a night or something like that, and you're happy with it, and that's awesome. We're super pumped about that. But there's this really large community of people that love this game. We love Bungie. I love Bungie. I say the stuff I say because I feel like you can't get better unless you critique things, and that's what we're doing here. We're critiquing it. We're not saying we know better, because we don't. We're not developers, but we are the players of this game, and I feel like we are. Luckily, they usually at least take input from us. I don't know. That's the part that I think a lot of people have been arguing about online is, are they actually taking input about PvP? Because they're not saying anything. That's the problem that we've pretty much came to on this podcast today is, Bungie, if you're watching this, you're definitely not. If you are, please just give us a sentence at the end of a TWAB. We are working on this.
Don't say we're listening either.
No, that's dumb. No, you're not. That's just a cop-out. That's just something real.
Hey, February, they started their renewed focus on PvP, man. Guess what? That was a year ago, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nothing here.
Sweet. All right, dudes. Well, I appreciate you. That was a super fun talk, honestly. I'm so happy. We missed Havoc tonight. Havoc is an awesome co-host, but I'm glad that you guys were able to have two guests on, which is different. And I'm really excited. I feel like that was fun, talking about the two different sets of things. I don't know.
Got into it.
Yeah, it was awesome. So both of you, tell me where people can find you, what times you stream or where your content is. I just want people to follow you if they're not already following you, and then I just promote yourselves real quick.
Go ahead, Frosty.
All right, I guess if I have to. So
Yes, you have to.
you can find me on Twitch at Frostee Live, and that's where I do all my streams. I stream at the very minimum every other day. So we try to do a lot of streams every day though, and then I start in the early afternoon. Not really a specific time, but always early afternoon for U.S. times. And all my info's on there. And like I said, I love helping new people do raids and just wherever I can and throughout Destiny mainly. But we do some variety in there. So if you want to come see us, 2-man or 3-man a raid, or if you want to come learn a raid, stop by and just like that.
Vouch. Good time. Frosty's an excellent teacher, by the way.
And he has a beautiful voice.
He does indeed have a beautiful
I don't
voice
know about
and a
that.
face.
Maddox, tell us.
I'm kidding.
His face is beautiful. I'm not gonna look at that mustache he's growing, bro.
I'm finally getting something right.
You got hair
Nice.
growing on your face. I've noticed
Everyone
it this
tells
whole
me
time.
to shave the lip dirt, and I'm like,
No, you keep it.
I'm working on it.
Um,
It's a process.
You got it, brother. You're looking hot. But outro. My name's Maddox. I stream on twitch.tv/vmaddox, as you can see on the screen. We stream PvP. We do scrims. We invite people to come in and test it out, see what you think. We're very welcoming, even though it sounds like I am just one big POS right now.
No, you're not.
But
Piece
anybody
of
that wants to learn how to
snails.
play scrims in a controlled environment, welcoming, positive, focus on improvement, I highly suggest you come on in. I'm live every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I am very consistent. If you see those times, I am live, I promise. You can follow me on Twitter as well too. I'm very active. Just add an underscore to the Twitch name. And one big thing we're working on, I wanted to announce as well too. Tomorrow night, we are doing our famous RNG scrims against Bearded
Yeah.
Luke.
Yep.
So
It should
we
be-
need to play against Luke. If you guys don't know what RNG
it's gonna be
scrims are,
interesting.
we raffle off 2 people in chat to get to play with us, and we do a best of 5 series to see who can win. And then on Friday, we are doing a new thing as well too, where we just created called Flashback Fridays. And what that consists of is we are going back to the old D2 meta, 4v4 clash, 4v4 control, something like that, and we do double primary meta. It's the old Destiny 1 meta or Destiny 2 meta, and see how that goes. So if you guys like double primary, you guys want to test that out, Friday, we'll see you then. I think we're doing first ever Minecraft on Tuesday as well too. So
Heck yes. All right,
so a
thank
lot of
you.
big things.
I'm excited to be a part of RNG pickups. It's gonna be
Yes.
hilarious because
It's a great time.
Frosty was a part of it, dude, man. It's a lot of fun,
It was
and
so much fun. It's a great time.
it is a blast. And I would encourage anybody that wants to help me win to come in my chat and do exclamation point raffle, because we
Heck
can be
yes. Yeah, you're gonna destroy me. It's gonna be funny. So thank you guys so much. Thank you both for joining us. It was an honor. Everyone, if you're
Thanks for the
listening,
invite.
thank you for making it to the end. This is the Destiny Nerds podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, as well as pretty much anywhere podcasts are. Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Google, Android. I don't know. It's everywhere. It should be out tomorrow or whatever day this is. I shouldn't say that. All I know is I love all of you. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep being nerds, and we'll see you guys next week. Have an amazing night. Goodbye.
Juicy.